Close your eyes and listen carefully. Stop! That child is reaching for something that looks exactly like a blueberry. It is not a blueberry. And in some cases, a single handful is enough. Before we start, let me be clear. This is for awareness, not fear. Knowing what these look like is the easiest way to keep your family and pets safe. What you are about to see are real things. Not rare, not exotic, not locked away in distant jungles. They grow in forests you have walked through, in parks where your children play, in gardens where people eat lunch, and sometimes right outside your front door. And almost none of them look dangerous. That is not an accident. That is the entire strategy. Stay with me until the final one, because that one killed someone who never even touched the plant. Subject 1. Pale green cap. White gills. Clean shape. Nothing unusual. Nothing threatening. In most forests around the world, this mushroom blends completely into the background. This is the death cap, and it is responsible for more fatal mushroom poisonings globally than any other species. Not the most dramatic, not the most colorful, the most ordinary. Inside those cells are compounds called amatoxins, and amatoxins have a strategy that most poisons simply do not have. They wait. You eat the mushroom. Hours pass. You feel sick, nausea, stomach pain, and then you start to feel better. The nausea fades. The pain reduces. You genuinely believe the worst is over. It is not. While you feel better, the toxins have been silently destroying your liver and kidneys, cell by cell. Doctors call it the honeymoon phase. The death cap gives you false hope, specifically designed to make you believe you survived while doing its most serious work. The destroying angel uses that same toxin, but this one targets the most experienced foragers, the people who have picked white mushrooms 100 times before and never been wrong. Confidence is not protection. Sometimes it is exactly what the mushroom is counting on. Then there is the funeral bell, small, brown, growing on dead wood. It looks so ordinary that most people would walk past it without a second glance. But it carries the same amatoxins as the death cap, and it grows in exactly the same places as edible oysters and honey mushrooms. A forager fills their basket with edible mushrooms, but mixed in among the harvest are a few funeral bells, cooked together, eaten together. And that tiny brown fungus only needs to contribute a small portion of one meal to cause irreversible liver damage. Small, brown, unremarkable. The most dangerous things usually are. Now let's talk about the fruits. The manchineel tree grows along beaches in Florida, the Caribbean, and Central America. It produces small green fruits that look almost exactly like apples. The Spanish explorers who encountered it gave it a name, Manzanilla de la Muerte, the little apple of death. Eating the fruit causes such severe burning in the mouth and throat that the throat can swell shut. The white milky sap blisters skin on contact. But here is what makes the manchineel genuinely different from everything else. You do not need to eat it. You do not even need to touch it. Simply standing under it during rain because rainwater passes through the leaves, picks up the diluted sap, and carries it directly onto your skin, has put people in the hospital, seeking shade. That is all. This tree offers shade, fruit, and shelter from the sun and rain. And every single one of those gifts is a trap. But some plants do not hide. They attract. The rosary pea produces bright red and black seeds that look so beautiful that humans turn them into jewelry, prayer beads, and children's crafts. Inside those seeds is a toxin called abrin. If you swallow one whole, the hard outer shell usually protects you because your body cannot break it down. But if that shell cracks, even slightly, even from the pressure of a threading needle, there are documented cases of jewelers who threaded these seeds for years dying after accidentally pricking their fingers. Not eating the seed, not touching the poison directly. A needle, a crack. Nature hid one of its most dangerous compounds inside something so beautiful that humans turned it into an ornament and wore it next to their skin. The castor bean plant offers a similar irony. It is grown as a decorative plant in gardens and shopping centers with large tropical leaves and an almost architectural appearance. It produces castor oil used worldwide in medicines and skincare. But after the oil is pressed out, what remains contains ricin, one of the most toxic substances ever found in nature. A single seed, if chewed and swallowed, carries enough ricin to kill a child. There is no antidote. The same plant behind a common household oil is responsible for one of the most feared poisons on Earth. Then there is deadly nightshade, belladonna. The berries are black, shiny, and round. To a child standing in a garden, they look exactly like something good to eat. Inside are alkaloids that attack the nervous system. Blurred vision, hallucinations, rapid heartbeat, difficulty breathing. But here is the part most people never know. In the past, women deliberately used tiny amounts of it as a beauty treatment because it dilates the pupils, making the eyes appear larger and more dramatic. The Italian word belladonna means beautiful woman. A plant used for beauty by day had been used for assassination by night for centuries. The same chemistry, the same berry, just a different amount. That difference between a cosmetic effect and a lethal dose is smaller than anyone would guess. And then there is oleander, one of the most widely planted ornamental shrubs in the world. Over 20 million gardens contain it. Pink, white, and red flowers. Hardy, beautiful, low maintenance. And every single part of it is poisonous. The leaves, stems, flowers, roots, even the water in a vase that has held oleander branches has been linked to poisoning. The toxins attack the heart directly, causing irregular heartbeat, dizziness, and cardiac arrest. There are documented cases of people being hospitalized after using oleander branches as skewers to cook meat over a fire. They did not know. Most people do not. The danger is not in their appearance. The danger is in our assumption that beautiful things are safe. But the most unusual of all is number 7, the one that does not even need to hurt you directly. White snakeroot, small white flowers, ordinary green leaves. It looks like background, the kind of plant you walk past 1,000 times and never once notice. Inside it is a compound called trematol, and trematol has a property that makes white snakeroot unlike everything else on this list. It moves through the food chain. When livestock, particularly cows, eat white snakeroot, the toxin passes directly into their milk. Humans who drink that milk develop what was historically called milk sickness, severe weakness, uncontrollable vomiting, trembling, and in serious cases, death. In 1818, on the Indiana frontier, a woman named Nancy Hanks Lincoln became ill. She grew weaker over several days and died shortly after. She was the mother of Abraham Lincoln. Most historians believe she died from milk sickness caused by white snakeroot that the family's cow had grazed on. She never touched the plant. She never knew it existed. She never made any mistake at all. She simply lived near it. Now let's step into the truly strange, the fungi that look like they belong in a nightmare. The devil's fingers erupts from an egg-like sac, pushing out bright red tentacles that curl and stretch outward like something escaping confinement. It mimics decaying flesh to attract flies, coating its surface in a dark, sticky, spore-laden slime. Flies land, mistake it for food, and carry the spores away. The bleeding tooth fungus looks like a wound, slowly leaking thick red droplets across a pale surface. Those red beads are not blood, but a pigment released through guttation, driven by internal pressure. And in complete darkness, the bioluminescent fungus emits a steady green glow, attracting nocturnal insects to spread its spores. These fungi do not chase. They do not warn. They simply use chemistry, light, and deception to survive. And here is the thought I want to leave you with. These things are not evil. They are not trying to hurt anyone. They are simply surviving, using the only tools evolution gave them. The problem has never been the plants. The problem is that we keep looking at beauty and assuming it means safe. A mushroom that pretends to let you recover. An angel that punishes the most experienced people hardest. A tree that turns shade into a weapon. A seed so beautiful we wore it next to our skin. A berry used for both beauty and assassination. A shrub that stops the heart. And a plant that killed the president's mother through a glass of milk. None of them are loud. None of them are dramatic. None of them chase. They simply exist, patient and quiet, waiting for the one moment when something mistakes them for safe. Tell me in the comments which one of these surprised you most. And if you want to keep going deeper into the hidden world that most people walk past every day, subscribe. Because the next one will make you look at something ordinary in a completely different way.